What's up, YouTube? It's a beautiful morning out here. Yeah, it's a Umar joint. Umar Johnson. He what up, Tasha? How's everything going with you? I meant to text you that this morning, but when I got off work, I had to cook breakfast. What up, D Prince? Wake up and feel and smell this VA air. Yeah, good. I wanted to come at y'all this morning because I don't usually do live streams in the morning like that, but being that I'm off tonight, I'm good because we were supposed to work, but some shit happened. Fucking spider, G. Sick of seeing these shits, y'all. I can't wait till it get colder. But yeah, man, I wanted to talk about Umar real quick, man. Like, I want to know what's going on with this job shit, something specific. I know we got 3 things that we supposed to be touching on, which I did the second one in the live stream the other day. But what I really want to talk about is what's up with Umar and these jobs, yo. This nigga said he got 6 degrees, but he has no job. He has no work history. Nobody knows where Umar Johnson's been working for the last however many years he's had. Like, fuck the 6 degree. I want to know how long, wherever you've been working, how long you've been working at with 2 degrees. Because you should have been able to find some sort of work. A brother like yourself, you should have been able to find some type of work. So it's just little questions like that, man, that are being asked and they're being raised now because we let people know that nobody's flying through the radar. Absolutely nobody. Nobody gets to fly through the radar. What's up, Shots? And people like to fly through the radar around here on YouTube TV. They forget who Shame TV is. They forget that there's fraud departments out here and internal affairs and Tasha Pope's Friday night chats. And these people forget, yo. They forget that we know that you've been saying a lot of things for a long time. And I want you guys to get ready for my year in review live stream that I'm gonna be doing tonight. I'm gonna peace. I'm gonna set it a reminder for it later. But I'm gonna do a year in this whole YouTube TV conscious community, all this shit, a year in review. Cause we're about a year away now, basically, from when all this shit started kicking off, from the Pharaoh debate and all of that shit. Yeah, you gotta get started earlier than that, Shots. That's only because I work overnights, nigga, so I be up in the morning irregardless of anything. Like, it's not a choice. I'm up because I just came home. So, but I'm chilling. It's always when I know I gotta work the same night, I be like clock watching all day and watching my time and watching what I do or whatever, because I know I gotta be on my feet all night. But it's just crazy. When I'm off, I be just nothing. I don't even be sleepy and none of that shit. But yeah, I was doing this live stream this morning. I ain't even share the damn videos. I was doing this live stream this morning for Umar Johnson because we've been talking about him off and on, but I wanna dive a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? I want to dive a little bit deeper, and I want to get a little specific when it comes to Umar. And specifically, what I want to talk about is, why the fuck do you say you have 6 degrees, but nobody knows of any job history, any teaching gig? Like, most people who own 6 degrees have earned, you know what I'm saying, a decent living. Most people who have 6 degrees, you know what I'm saying, they're used generally to have that many degrees. From what I'm hearing, you should be one of the most notable doctors in the world. Now, I'm no doctor and I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying, like, to have that many degrees, right? 6 degrees of scamming. Like, to have that many degrees, man, you should be a notable person. You should be like one of the most what's the dude, man? I'll be forgetting his name. The fucking, you know what I'm talking about, the physician dude. The famous, the brain surgeon dude, doctor. It's like, nigga, you should be way more famous than him. You should be way more famous than any supposed doctor in the whole conscious community. And that goes for my favorite, Dr. Delbert Blair, who was indeed a real doctor. But at the same time, man, it's like 6 degrees, man. You got 6 whole degrees and you don't have no fucking career. Like, you mean to tell me? That's why I said, yo, this is starting to sound fishy and shady, because, like, a person who has that many degrees develops relationships with other physicians, especially because you have that many degrees. You should be intelligent. Other doctors should be looking at you as a prominent doctor. Of course he couldn't. So you got 6 whole degrees, and you should have doctor friends. You should, which are called colleagues. You should have people who are colleagues who fuck with you, and who basically you are known to them. You have access to other men who make millions of dollars a year who are doctors. You have whether they'll be clinical doctors, whether, you know what I mean, psychiatrists, whatever. I'm just saying, like, you should have access to these people. Like, fundraising should not be a big issue for you. There should be no way in the world that a man in America, a black man who owns 6 degrees, should have a problem fundraising amongst his colleagues. Amongst your colleagues. And what's crazy is, my kids just went to their doctor a couple days ago, and as soon as you walk in that office, yo, like, right behind, if you look right behind the fucking wall, the counter, you can see her fucking degrees all up on the fucking wall. And she ain't make nobody go get a phone, find out your real name, go look it up, then call and have records search through. She ain't do none of that shit. She's a doctor. She says she's a doctor. As soon as you walk in her office, her fucking degrees are on the wall. Now, getting back to these 6 degrees. Now, a man who owns 6 degrees, from what I hear, should be a very prominent man. You own 6 whole degrees. That's a lot. I'm just now getting gray hair sprouting in my beard. Umar, you barely have any, and you're older than me. So, what the fuck? When the fuck did you do all of this shit? You must be... He is a doctor, y'all. He's Doogie Howser. Remember Doogie Howser from when we was young, a little nigga? Like, Doogie Howser, MD. His nigga was like a prodigy. He was like a child doctor prodigy or some shit. Yeah, that's what Umar Johnson is. Umar Johnson is Doogie Howser. How the fuck you get all those degrees in that short span of time, man? And no one knows who you are. No one knows your work. No one can reference Dr. Umar Johnson's work. Can anyone out here reference his work? Like saying, yo, Dr. Umar Johnson from such and such a field, and he did this, such and such a date, this study, this whatever. What work does Umar Johnson have to reference? What work does he have to reference? I don't get it. 6 degrees and you don't have a 6-figure job. Now I know in America it's been an onslaught against the basically the college degree, basically meaning it don't mean shit no more. An attack from the whole workforce. No one really cares if you have a fucking college degree or not, because you see these people working in Walmart now. Not saying Walmart's a bad gig, because Walmart pays decent money. They actually starting to pay livable wages. But my point is, 6 degrees, man. With 6 fucking degrees, bro, you should easily, and I mean easily, have a 6-figure job. So that's my whole point of getting to, what I'm trying to get to is, we're having a challenge. We want to find out where Umar Johnson has actually worked, what these 6 degrees have brought him as far as gainful employment. Because we know that he runs his mouth a lot about how smart he is and how much of the Pan-African prince he is. Prince of Persia, Pan-Africa, or whatever the fuck he wants to say. That's one of those words too, like consciousness. It's just been sullied and polluted. But yeah, it's the Umar Johnson challenge. We'd like to know, Umar Johnson, with 6 whole degrees, how long have you had a 6-figure job, if at any time or point you've had, attained that level, and why not if you haven't? How many offers have you had? Because it stands to reason that a man with 6 degrees would be sought after in America. Like, somebody's going to want you on their team, G. Somebody's going to want you on their team, G. With 6 degrees, there's no way in hell someone doesn't want you on their team. Exactly. This nigga went through, at the rate that he said, at the same way he's Frederick Douglass' cousin, it's probably like 3 of y'all in the chat. If you chase your shit, you probably cousins with that nigga too. This nigga acting like that shit is so spectacular. Like, why you keep bringing that shit up, nigga? Like, so what? Frederick Douglass smugglers, nigga. What are you talking about? Why are you saying that shit like Frederick Douglass? I'm not even going to sit here and knock that brother, man. I'm just saying, yo, like, stop saying that shit like Frederick Douglass was Nat Turner or somebody, nigga. Because that wasn't the case. There you go. Another person who's in college right now, who's attesting to the difficulty of attaining degrees, let alone 6 in the medical field. You hear this nigga, yo? He has 6 degrees. He's barely 45 years old, if so old. Yet he has no work history. He has no reference. He has no work to reference to as of to date yet. The only thing that we can use as a reference to Umar Johnson's work is YouTube videos. That's it. YouTube videos. Like, if it wasn't for YouTube videos, we wouldn't even know who Umar Johnson was. And I guess I would not leave out underground radio stations and shit like that was popping before YouTube really took off. Umar Johnson circled that the Chitlin circuit of that level. But other than that, like who is he? What work have you done for us to reference and say, okay, this is what Umar Johnson's done? I ain't talking about going to a couple schools with a couple parents and trying to acting like that was some shit. We're not talking about that. We're talking specifically about your degrees. We're talking specifically about the fact that you say you have attained 6 degrees in the medical field. And we want to know why you have not been spoken of in all corners of America. Like, as far as intelligence goes, as far as a person who's earned 6 degrees gets asked questions, get invited places. And we ain't talking about the Breakfast Club. I ain't talking about the fucking Breakfast Club. No disrespect to the Breakfast Club, and that's not, my intent. But what I'm saying is, no disrespect to them, but dude, I don't understand. How the fuck do you fucking not be known? We shouldn't know who you are over me going to my kid's doctor right now and saying to my kid's doctor, hey, the works of Umar Johnson, or have you heard of Dr. Johnson? She don't know who the fuck you are, but she should know. Everybody should know. The Prodigy. Everybody knew who Doogie Howser was. All the other doctors, they knew who Doogie Howser was. But no one knows who Umar Johnson is. No one knows why we cannot find verifiable, traceable evidence of this man having a job. Of this man practicing medicine. Of this man being a psychiatrist. All the shit that he talks about. All the degrees that he talks about. No one has any history of him working anywhere, of doing anything, of providing money for himself to survive from the 6 degrees that he attained. Let's say it bluntly, smack like that. So no one's confused on what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't want you to be confused. We want to know, how do you survive and take care of yourself? Is it from the 6 degrees? Is it true, Umar Johnson, that you have been listed and are listed currently as your employment as being a fundraiser? Because you don't need 6 degrees to fucking be a fundraiser. You don't even need to say you have 6 degrees to be a fundraiser, bro. Keeping it 100% real. You could just act like a preacher, because that's what you sound like anyway. Like, you sound like a minister, which is not saying that's evil, nigga. I'm just saying you sound like a minister. So you should probably have went that route. Because most of those churches are full of shit anyway, and they're just swindling people. And that's apparently what you're doing. That's apparently what you're doing. Like, you're basically swindling people because you're telling them you're a doctor, and you're telling them not only are you a doctor, that you have, let's examine this for a second, guys. Let me get this straight. You're telling people exactly, Tasha. You're telling people you're a doctor, okay? But you can't just say you're a doctor. You have to attain the unattainable. You got 6 fucking degrees. You can't just be a part of the Pan-African movement, whatever that is anymore. Whoever knows what the fuck that actually is. But okay, we're not even going to do that. You can't just be a part of the Pan-African movement. No, you have to be the prince of it. You can't just be a brother who attained a certain level of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and want to give it back to the world and call yourself a scholar and a teacher. You have to be the most sought after. Y'all see where I'm going with this? You follow me? You can't just be a brother and a man for the people. No, you have to be celibate. Godlike. ICDC college ass niggas. This is what's going on right now, yo. We got these ICDC college ass niggas up here pretending to be doctors. Like Reggie pretending to be an engineer. Nigga, you're not an engineer. That's why you're always on Sarnetta's couch. You don't have time to be out engineering anything. You don't have time to be doing any of that shit. But I don't understand, y'all. Y'all tell me, man, am I crazy? Let me know. Am I off base? Am I nuts? Am I reaching? Like, yo, how the fuck do you say you have 6 degrees, but you don't have a career? Because there's people out here with 2 degrees who bitch about the career that they have or the job that they have, but they do have one. They are in their field working. What have you been doing in your field since you attained these degrees? How long has he actually had these whole degrees together? That's what we need to find out. We need to find out how long he's had these degrees. We need to find out when he finished school or when he finished whatever the fuck he finished. Did he seek employment, or was he calling himself, or he doing the shit that the Moors say, that I'm here for humanity? Because the Moors say that a lot, you know what I'm saying? And when I mean Moors, I don't mean me as a Moor or you as a Moor. I'm talking about the Moors. You know what I'm talking about. Like them niggas who run around with fezzes and call themselves Moors and just spout a bunch of stuff out their mouth all the time without verifiable evidence and proof to back it up. And I'll get on that, you know, too. I'm not talking about the dirty Moors, because that's a whole nother topic, the dirty Moors. I don't even associate regular Moors with them. But yeah, man, 6 degrees and you don't have, you can't attain employment anywhere. It sounds to me like a person with 6 degrees should be fighting off jobs left and right. You should be ducking and dodging people. You should have changed your phone number like 5 and 6 times, because you just get so many calls, nigga, from people who want you to come work for them and come. Yo, Umar's a fucking weirdo, yo. The shit you say, Umar, is some official shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I was like, you not a dummy. You know what I mean? Like, and you for the people. And I don't understand why you couldn't just be for the people. But I think I do understand why. A lot of people's character and who they really are gets let out and gets shown the longer you do this, I see. Like, as long as you on this YouTube platform and YouTube TV, like, you giving yourself to a degree, you know what I'm saying? And so eventually more and more shit about you and who you are will be revealed, you know? And like, I feel like in that sense, man, it's hard to ignore that shit, yo, basically. It's hard to ignore that shit. It's hard to ignore the fact that you say you have 6 degrees and you don't have a job. It's hard to ignore that it's people out here with 2 and 3 degrees and 4 and are getting constantly, you know what I mean, bombarded with people wanting them to come do lectures, and people wanting to not just do lectures, but wanting to hire them and have them work in their hospital for their practice or whatever. Like, that's not happening to you. Is that happening to you? I doubt that shit very seriously, because you don't have any fucking identifiable work out here. I already know better about anybody who's ever been on something at a couch and wants to sell a book. I'm not buying pamphlets, G. I ain't buying no copy and paste pamphlet / book that you put together. I don't want none of that shit. And it seems that everybody who's ever sat on his couch that claims to sell something, unlike me, Shame TV, and Derek Jones Tees, also DJT Apparel. Do not forget to go shop at DJT Apparel. Yo, I have happy customers, nigga. Show you my Instagram and all that, nigga. I got happy customers. Everybody that got something from me got what the fuck they were supposed to get from me. Like I said. And I don't need to duck and dodge and hide and all that. And the reason why I can say this to all the haters, the reason why I can say the stuff that I'm saying, I'm going to tell you why I can say the stuff I'm saying. I never put myself out to be some master guru. I never put myself out to be the prince of Pan-Africanism. Okay? I never put myself out to be the most sought after whatever the fuck. He said he was the most sought after. I never put myself out to be celibate and get caught with strippers and shit. I never put myself out as having the master plan to save black people, specifically black boys. Do not forget that, specifically black boys. So when you start saying this shit and putting yourself out there and saying, and I didn't say that I had 6 degrees, so I get to talk about anybody who comes out and says that they have 6 degrees, even goes around and defends the fact that they said they have these 6 degrees, yet they can never display and or show the 6 degrees. But fuck all that. That's not why we did this video. We did this video specifically for a job challenge. Can anyone provide any, please, if you can, leave a comment, leave a message. I want to know where Umar Johnson has worked and ever worked with 6 degrees, because I feel that a man who owns 6 degrees should make at best. It should be a crying shame if he's making $110,000 a year somewhere. Now, which most of you guys know, like, though, that's a very nice amount of money, chump change that you can have in your pocket, that you can live a very comfortable life in America with. Especially if you're, you're not flashy and all of that. You'll have a real nice life. A real comfortable life. Making that much a year. But that should be an outrage to a person like Umar Johnson. Because Umar has 6 degrees, which means he's put in the time. He's put in the effort. He's shown that he's worth top dollar. ICDC College puts out nothing but the best scholars. You've seen Reggie. Fucking Reggie. Yeah, man. ICDC College puts out top scholars, huh, Umar? That's where you got your 6 degrees. Because they got a fucking program. ICDC College got a program where if you pay a little extra, why not check with the board? Because no one should really have to check with the board. At this point, checking with anything no. Because Umar Johnson has YouTube videos ranging from 2 minutes to 10 minutes to 2 hours. So you're not going to tell me, dog, and you got YouTube videos running your mouth about a whole bunch of shit, but you can't fucking take like 35 seconds and go in your bag or wherever the fuck you had that shit and pull that shit out and pull out your fucking degrees. You should easily be able to go in there and pull out your degrees and be like, here you go. Thank you, Tasha. Darnell. What did you say, Darnell? Whose name is Darnell? Fucking Darnell. Yo, man. You got raised by some white people that adopted you, huh? And they named you Darnell. Darnell, let's name him Darnell Jackson. I don't even know what you said. I'm just fucking with you. I don't even care. Tasha must didn't like it. So she clipped your ass. But yeah, man. That's all. I'm about to go because my son's got a football game this morning. And I guess I'm not going to fucking sleep. But he got a game this morning, so it's actually in like an hour. Darnell, what are you doing? Are you defending Umar? Do you know where Umar works? Tasha, ask him. I mean, I'm gonna ask him. Darnell, do you know where? Tasha, don't clip him if he answers. If he says something stupid or cussing and being weird, yeah, you could clip him. But I want to ask him, Darnell Jackson, do you know he on timeout? Okay, Darnell, do you know where Umar Johnson works? Do you have this evidence that we were talking about here? Because if you have the evidence, then you can correct me and I can shut the fuck up about it. You know what I'm saying? And I probably would. I actually would be quiet about that shit. But I would have to, somebody's going to have to actually show something about it. Nah, we're not talking about the board anymore. We've already been through this, and even Tasha can attest to that. Like, we've been through all that board. She's been through all that board stuff, Plum, Jade. This is not just some random fly-by-night joint. She been through all of that. She searched all of that shit and messaged back, so... And actually, you could, when next time she do a stream, you could check that shit out or ask her about it. Cause I don't know how much she want to talk about it or not. But yo, we're way past all of that. Checking a board, like I said, if you're a doctor and your credibility is in question, like there's steps and ways to go about correcting that. And first off, in just good faith, fuck everything else. Fuck, I could go check here or you could go check there. Okay. In good faith alone dictates that he should at least display them with himself, his face, him holding them, displaying them. Good faith alone dictates that shit. Good faith alone. So if he's not going to do that, why would I fucking take the time of going to call? And I don't even know. This nigga's name ain't Umar Johnson. And what if he ain't signed his degrees as Umar Johnson? So that means I must go find out what his fucking real name is. And then once I find out what his real name is, then I gotta find out where this real name or this name actually went to school. Then I gotta call and ask them to go. That's too much, man, for you to just, when I don't have to do that with my kid's doctor. I don't have to do that with them. I can go right up there into her fucking office and look right on her, see her degree, her name, and all of that shit. That's all I'm saying. Like, why the fuck do I have to go through all of that shit? Nah, I'm not going through all of that bullshit. I'm not going through that because he could take a time and a second to just show that shit. How does his credentials affect your life? Why do y'all ask stupid? Don't clip him, Tasha. Why do y'all ask silly questions like that? Like, how does something affect your life? Bro, this is a fucking YouTube page. It's a YouTube page where we talk about certain shit. If you want to hear other things being said, go to another YouTube page. Here at Shame TV East Watch, we like to talk to certain people who bloviate about themselves. It's not that we picked Umar Johnson and said, let's fuck with Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson said he was the prince. He said he was the celibate prince, the most sought after celibate prince with 6 degrees. So for me to question that don't mean it's affecting my life. Is it like, what are you talking about? That just sounds crazy. Number 2, where that bread at? Why you running? Why, like, these are the questions that we ask, and people asking, why does that affect my life? Even if it did or it didn't, where the fucking money at? Even if it did or it didn't, where the fuck are your 6 degrees at? That's like when you start trying to move away from the point, like, come on now. You said his dissertation wasn't approved. See, the whole point is I've never seen an Umar Johnson dissertation that I know for a fact is attached to him. I've never seen, there's no, what did we say when I started this live stream? There are no references to his work anywhere. For a person to own those many degrees, you should have some sort of references to your work. You should have some work out here. Some field of study where you have work. Stop it, man. Stop it. And the most important point that I'm going to make before I cut this stream is why I actually did the fucking live stream. Fuck all that other shit. You got 6 degrees and you still don't have no work history? You got 6 degrees and no work. 6 degrees, and the only listing of employment that people can find attached to your name is fundraiser? If I'm wrong about that and someone has other facts to prove it, to bring forth and show and prove, then I'm more than happy to listen to that shit and listen and like really listen to it and hope that it's viable. She's asleep.
She's still asleep.
Yeah.
Tell her to call me when she get up.
Okay. Well, I gotta get her up in a second anyway. But yeah, like, yo, like, how the fuck do you do that? How the fuck do you run your mouth about all this shit that you have, all this shit that you say that you've attained, and you don't have any fucking work history anywhere? That's fucking weird. I'm sorry. What are you talking about, people who donate to him? Whether you donate to him or not, what does that change? Why do you keep talking about a glass of water, man, when I'm talking about a turkey sandwich? We're talking about 6 degrees, no job, ever. That doesn't sound fishy to you? You mean to tell me that sounds copacetic? Yeah, a person with 6 whole degrees, even though if you ask a doctor how many degrees do they have, just on general, an average doctor, how many degrees do they have, they're not going to fucking say anything close to 6. But this individual has 6 fucking degrees. Really? No job. He's the most sought after scholar. Says who? Him? Yo, man. Here at Shame TV East Watch, we have an ear for bullshit, and I'm sorry, bro. I don't know how much you like Umar or how much you don't like him, but I call bullshit. And I also call this video, this live stream, the Umar Johnson Job Challenge. Please be the first to find out Umar Johnson's job history. For a man to have 6 degrees, he obviously has a healthy career in his field. 6 degrees, you can't be turned down or denied by anyone. So the Umar Johnson Challenge, is Umar Johnson really just a fundraiser, or does he really have other work history? I don't think that he does. because it would have been disclosed by now. Shame TV East Watch. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Love you guys much. Tasha, D Johnson, everybody that stopped through. Gonna do a live stream this evening. I wanna hear you guys' response to that. So go to the Facebook group. Let me know what you come up with. I'll look at it today and we'll go back in tonight.